In this video, I'm going to go over my hybrid pedalboard setup. Hey guys, I'm Dr. McFarland and welcome back to the channel. I've been preparing for this video a few months now and going back and forth between what I wanted to do and how I wanted to set up and the size and the cables and the power and just everything that goes into making a pedal board. And I feel like I've been doing this for a very long time. I've gone back and forth between digital setups, fully analog setups, setups with pedals and a pedal switcher that you can plug all your pedals into and, create presets and have spillover and all kinds of just essential things that I need when I'm playing live or in a band environment or even here in the studio. So what I've got for you today is my final outcome of my hybrid board that I put together with a handful of companies that do great work independently by themselves, but when you combine these companies together, they just combine to make a very powerful pedal board. So let's go ahead and show it to you now. Alright, so what I have here is a rock board by Rorick. It is a Trace 3.1, and I measured the width and size of the pedals and did a little bit of pedal Tetris, and I found that this pedal board really was perfect for what I needed based on the Mission Engineering Expression pedal, the width of the HX effects, and then the Quilter Interblock 45 and Blue Guitar Blue Box. This really just is the epitome of ergonomics and size and weight and everything, and it fits really well on this board, so I'm pretty happy about that. So there's a few things I had to consider when making this board, and I wanted it to have an amp actually on the board, so I accomplished that by using the Quilter Interblock 45, which is not just a preamp. I get that comment all the time. It's like, hey, what's that preamp on your board? It's not a preamp, okay? This is an actual amplifier with a preamp and power amp stage. It does have a line out you can use to go to direct front of house or headphones. And it also has a speaker out on the side. And a normal preamp is not going to have a speaker out. So get it right, folks, okay? I don't want to be a stickler on that, but it's just like I keep seeing it over and over and over. So I want to make sure you understand this is an amplifier and not just a preamp, okay? The only issue I had with the Quilter was it has to have its own power supply. And that meant I couldn't run it off of a brick or any other external power supply. I had to use the supply that came with the amp. So I'll show you how I dealt with that when we look at the back of the board. And then with any amplifier, you have to have a cab. Well, in this instance, I'm able to have the blue box be my cabinet simulator directly here on the board. So I can literally walk into any venue, whether it's a church or a music hall or even here in the studio, and I can take the XLR output and I can go direct to front of house. And then as you see right here, there's also a line out, and I run that into my FR 108 speaker by Headrush. So I technically don't even need a heavy, vintage 30 greenback style cabinet. I can just have a very simple, small, lightweight FR speaker, and I can run the signal out of this box into that speaker in front of house at the same time. And it sounds amazing. I've used this setup a few times at church, and I just love the tones I get. The Quilter Interblock 45 is really the perfect small amp. It gives you one channel, but it's nice and clean. So if you want a great Fender sound or kind of a Voxy sound, you can definitely get that with this amp. And last but not least, you have the HX effects, which is providing the overdrive, delay, modulation, reverb, compression. I got some wah pedal stuff going on in some of the presets. I got a volume pedal. this can pretty much replace your whole entire individual effect pedal board. And that's what it did for me. I was putting together an ES8 based pedal board with, you know, avalanche run, delay reverbs, and different overdrives, and all kinds of effects. And when it came to actually wiring everything up, I'm like, what am I doing? This is just too much. I don't need all this. There's too much money invested, and it's just silly. So I finally found a way to get a small board with an amp and an IR loader with an expression pedal all on one board, and I think it's perfect. So let's go ahead and look at the back, and I'll show you how I powered everything up. Alright, so here's the back of the board, and you can see that I am utilizing the one spot CS6 from True Tone, and you also see the Quilter Interblock 45 power supply there as well. I just used dual lock 3mm pedal board tape, and everything's stuck down on there nice and tight. This is not moving anywhere. I mean, it's not budging at all, trust me. And really what I'm using the CS6 for is I'm powering the HX effects, and I'm also running an 18 volt output to the blue box, because this can run on either 9 volts or 18 volts. And most of my experimentations over the years, when I run things at 18 volts versus 9, if the pedal allows you to, you do get a lot more headroom out of the unit, and just allows the effect to breathe a little bit more. So I feel like the 18 volt on the blue box just has a more open sound versus a regular 9 volt power supply. And another thing that the CS6 provides is, if I were to play overseas or anywhere outside the US that has a different voltage, this is going to allow the board to be compatible pretty much anywhere in the world, because the Quilter already has the power supply that is worldwide recognized. You can plug into any outlet and you don't need a transformer, or you might have to have a little converter, but you don't need a transformer, and that's really the main thing. And my experience traveling with Feedback Revival back in 2014, we toured Switzerland, Germany, Spain, France, Holland, and Belgium. And that whole board was powered by a True Tone one spot. I didn't even have a Big Daddy brick. I was just using a regular old one spot, and it worked perfectly. So with that experience, I was pretty confident that the CS6 was going to be the right choice for this board, even though I'm technically only powering 2 units here with one power supply. You're probably thinking that's a little bit too much. Can't you just do something different? Well, for me, I just wanted the peace of mind of knowing that this was going to power the whole board. I could go anywhere in the world, and I could probably even carry this on to the plane and not even have to check it, because we all know that TSA is not that great when it comes to pedal boards and musicians. And why don't you just show us some love, TSA? Come on. And last but not least, I have a Y cable. There's IEC. We have female on one end, and we have a male on the other end. Alright? So what this allows me to do is I can take my 2 IEC inserts right there, and I can just take this cable, plug it in to the end, and then take one IEC cable from here out to the wall, and I can power the whole board with one IEC cable. I don't have to have separate adapters and just cables going everywhere. It's just not needed. So once again, this makes for a very powerful pedal board. So in the next coming videos, I'm going to go through every element on the board, starting with the Quilter Interblock 45, then moving on to the cab sim, that is the blue box, and then the HX effects, and how I control parameters on the HX with my Mission Engineering L6. So thanks guys for watching. If you are interested in supporting my channel, be sure to click on the links in the description. You can sign up for a membership on my website. You can access tons of courses about music, gear, and recording. There's also a monthly donation that you can give by supporting my free content that I provide here on YouTube. and much, much more. So thanks guys for watching. I am Dr. McFarland. I will see you in the next video. Keep rocking.